Tesla Powerwall 3 was released last month, and Spirit Energy actually installed the first one in the UK. You can find out more about that, as well as read through our full knowledge bank by going to spiritenergy.co.uk/Tesla Powerwall 3. Probably the most game-changing feature of Powerwall 3 is the new hybrid solar inverter. It's become the new gold standard in hybrid inverters, and other battery manufacturers are most likely going to need to copy Tesla in order to keep up. Now, one of the best things about it is how flexible it is. Most inverters just have a fixed rating, such as 5 kilowatts. However, Powerwall 3 can be set to anywhere between 3.68 kilowatts and 11.04 kilowatts. This makes it uniquely flexible to almost every house in the UK. It is truly a one-size-fits-all system. The Powerwall 3 hybrid inverter can also be oversized by up to 170% of whatever rating that you set it to. Now, this is more relevant for when you get hit by a DNO restriction. If you apply to the DNO and they tell you that you can install a maximum of 5 kilowatts, for example, this means that the Powerwall inverter will need to be limited to 5 kilowatts. However, as it can be oversized by up to 170%, you could actually install up to 8.5 kilowatt worth of DC solar input into the 5 kilowatt Powerwall 3 inverter. Another use case would be when you actually need more than the maximum of 11.04 kilowatts that the inverter can output. If you want to really maximize how many panels you can feed into Powerwall 3, then you'd be able to install up to 18 kilowatt worth of solar. The downside to oversizing is that in summer, when the solar is outputting near to its kilowatt peak, you will get quite a bit of clipping on the inverter. However, in the winter months, you'll actually get a lot more generation as a result of oversizing the system. So it is worth taking into consideration. Now, as the Powerwall 3 is DC coupled, you can also charge the battery and invert at the same time. Let's use the same example of installing 8.5 kilowatts of solar with the inverter limited to 5 kilowatts by the DNO. If you do choose to oversize the system, then when the solar is generating the full 8.5 kilowatts, for example, you'll be able to output 5 kilowatts to the house and charge the battery with the excess 3.5 kilowatts. If the battery is full, then the inverter has no choice but to export as much as possible to the grid, and then if there's any clipping that can't be inverted due to the DNO restrictions, then you've just got to deal with the losses, unfortunately. Another great thing about this inverter is that it has 3 MPPTs, or DC string inputs. Most inverters only have 2. The additional MPPT will come in handy, particularly for semi-detached houses that have an east, west and south-facing roof. They'll now be able to use 1 MPPT for each roof face and therefore take advantage of the whole roof. With standard inverters that only have 2 MPPTs, you'd need to have 1 inverter dealing with 2 of the roof faces and then a second inverter to allow you to take advantage of the third roof space. One thing to note is that Powerwall 3's inverter also has a very low minimum input voltage of only 60 volts, which means you can have as little as 3 panels on each string. It also has a really high voltage ceiling of up to 550 volts, which is about 12 standard size solar panels. This means on each string, or each MPPT, you can have 12 standard solar panels, or up to 36 450 watt panels, for example. One other thing is that in a power cut, Powerwall 3 can also keep the full 11 kilowatts worth of solar running. This will allow you to live sustainably off-grid for a longer period of time than you could with any other standard battery system.